Think you've seen it all when it comes to pickup trucks? Think again. These rare and bizarre pickups will blow your mind and leave you wondering how you never knew about them. Number 15. Studebaker Champ, 1961. The Studebaker Champ was one of the weirdest and rarest pickups to ever roll onto American roads, and barely anyone noticed. Between 1960 and 1961, only about 5,500 were built, and by its final year in 1964, that number had dropped to just 2,509. With numbers like that, the Champ was practically invisible, and it did not help that Studebaker was struggling to survive at the time. What made it so strange? For starters, it looked like someone stuck a truck bed onto a car. That is because Studebaker literally took the cab and grille from its Lark compact car and slapped it onto the Champ. The result was a pickup with a small car-like front end and a big mismatched truck bed. To make things even weirder, the wide box version was not even Studebaker's design. It came from Dodge. Under the hood, the Champ was just as unusual. The smallest engine, a 170 cubic inch six-cylinder, barely made 90 horsepower. A 259 cubic inch V8 with 180 horsepower was available, but only the V8 models could get an automatic transmission. Everything about this truck felt like an experiment, and buyers were not interested. With low production, odd styling, and a company on the verge of collapse, the Studebaker Champ never stood a chance. It disappeared almost as fast as it arrived, making it one of the strangest and most forgotten pickups in history. Number 14. International Harvester Scout II Pickup, 1977 to 1980. The International Harvester Scout II pickup was one of the most unusual trucks ever built, yet almost no one remembers it. Between 1977 and 1980, International Harvester produced Scout models in various forms, but exact numbers for the pickup version are hard to pin down. What is known is that total Scout production was just over 500,000 before the company shut everything down in 1980. Compared to other trucks of the era, this was nothing, making the Scout II pickup a rare ghost on the road. Why was it so odd? Well, it looked like a truck that could not decide if it wanted to be an SUV. Instead of a full truck bed, it had a half-cab roof with a fixed bulkhead, making it look like someone chopped the back off an SUV and called it a pickup. Its design was a mix of boxy, old-school styling with small square headlights and a flat grille that already looked outdated when it launched. Performance-wise, the Scout II pickup was all over the place. The smallest engine was a 195 cubic inch four-cylinder, while the biggest was a 403 cubic inch V8. Most buyers went for the 345 cubic inch V8 with 170 horsepower, which was decent for towing but not exactly thrilling. With limited production, weird styling, and a company that was about to disappear, the Scout II pickup was weird, rare, and totally forgotten, until now. Number 13. Ford SVT Lightning, 1993 to 1995. The Ford SVT Lightning was a muscle truck that barely anyone saw coming, and even fewer actually saw on the road. Built between 1993 and 1995, only about 11,000 were made, making it rarer than the Chevrolet 454 SS. At a time when pickups were all about towing and hauling, Ford's special vehicle team decided to do something completely different: build a truck that could go fast. In addition, it looked almost like a regular F-150, but the details told a different story. It sat lower than any other Ford truck, had a special front air dam, and rolled on unique 17-inch wheels. Slapping Lightning decals on the sides made it clear: this was not your grandpa's work truck. Available in just black, red, or white, it stood out without even trying. Then there was the engine. Instead of using an oversized big block like Chevy's 454 SS, Ford went with a 351 cubic inch Windsor 5.8. Upgraded with high flow heads and other performance tweaks, it made 240 horsepower and 340 pound-feet of torque. A 4-speed automatic sent power to the rear wheels, launching the Lightning from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 7 seconds. Insanely quick for a truck in the mid-90s. Number 12. Chevrolet 454SS, 1990 to 1993. Chevrolet is known for making tough, reliable trucks, but in the early 1990s, they decided to do something completely unexpected: build a muscle truck. The result? The Chevrolet 454SS is a high-performance pickup that barely anyone bought. From 1990 to 1993, only 16,953 were made, making it one of the rarest trucks Chevrolet ever built. For a vehicle with a massive 454 cubic-inch V8, it somehow stayed under the radar. For starters, it looked nothing like a typical work truck. The 454SS was originally available only in black, giving it a menacing appearance. Later, Chevrolet added red and white options, but black remained the most iconic. Bright red bucket seats and a center console made the cabin feel more like a muscle car than a pickup. The truck sat on 15-inch wheels, small by today's standards, and had a short bed, single-cab design that made it feel compact and aggressive. Then there was the engine. The 454 cubic-inch big block V8 was a relic from Chevrolet's muscle car days. By the 1990s, this engine was mostly used in heavy-duty trucks, but Chevrolet stuffed it into a half-ton pickup anyway. It made between 230 and 255 horsepower with over 400 pound-feet of torque, sending all that power to the rear wheels through a 3-speed automatic transmission. Number 11. Ford F-250 Bigfoot Cruiser, 1987 to 1990. A monster truck you could buy from a dealership? That's exactly what Ford tried with the F-250 Bigfoot Cruiser. Built between 1987 and 1990, only 300 of these wild pickups were ever made, making them one of the rarest factory-modified trucks in history. Inspired by Bob Chandler's legendary Bigfoot monster truck, Ford turned a regular F-250 into something that looked like it belonged in a stadium, crushing cars. But with such a tiny production run and a major recall stripping away its best features, the Bigfoot Cruiser faded into obscurity. This truck was strange from every angle. It sat ridiculously high, thanks to a factory-installed 3-inch lift and massive 33-inch off-road tires. The oversized front bumper came with a built-in winch, while a double-hoop roll bar packed with off-road lights made it look even crazier. Covered in bold blue and gold Bigfoot graphics, this was a truck designed to get attention. But that same aggressive styling became its downfall. Safety concerns led to a recall, and many owners had to remove the coolest parts. Power wasn't an issue. Most Bigfoot cruisers packed a massive 460 cubic-inch V8 with an automatic transmission. It had all the comforts of a high-end truck: power windows, power locks, and even air conditioning, while still looking like an off-road beast. Ultimately, the Bigfoot Cruiser was a monster truck dream that never got to live to its full potential. Number 10. Dodge Shelby Dakota, 1989. Have you ever heard of a muscle truck with a Shelby badge? That's exactly what Dodge built in 1989, but hardly anyone remembers it. The Dodge Shelby Dakota was a one-year experiment, and with only 1,475 ever made, it disappeared as quickly as it arrived. Split between 995 red and 480 white models, this was a performance truck from an era when trucks weren't supposed to be fast. But while it had the name of legendary cartooner Carroll Shelby, it never became a household name. At first glance, the Shelby Dakota looked meaner than a regular pickup. It had blacked-out bumpers, fender flares, and a body-colored light bar that made it look ready for battle. Shelby's signature graphics stretched across the sides, the tailgate, and even the windshield, just in case you forgot this wasn't a normal Dakota. Inside, the red bench seat and leather-wrapped steering wheel made it feel like something special. But despite all the Shelby branding, it remained one of the most forgotten performance pickups of all time. The real surprise was under the hood. Dodge ripped out the standard 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder options and stuffed in a 318 cubic inch V8. It made 175 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. Nothing crazy by today's standards, but back then it turned a small truck into a serious performer. It hit 60 miles per hour in 8.7 seconds, faster than most pickups of its time. Number 9-1962 GMC Fenderside Crew Cab. The 1962 GMC Fenderside Crew Cab was a truck ahead of its time, but barely anyone knew it existed. Only 6 were built, and today, just 1 remains in the United States. It wasn't a factory model you could buy at a dealership. These were custom-ordered workhorses, mostly for railroad companies. Because of their industrial use, most were scrapped long ago, making this survivor a rolling piece of history. What made it so weird? First, it had 4 doors, something rarely seen on a pickup back then. Crew cabs weren't popular yet, and the idea of a truck carrying 6 people was unusual. Some versions were even modified to drive on train tracks with steel wheels. But the unique example wasn't built for work. It was ordered by a man named Ray Rain for family vacations. To make it even weirder, he added a massive 9-foot bed, a larger rear window, and a rare hydromatic automatic transmission. Under the hood, most railroad versions ran on diesel, but this one had a 305 cubic inch V6 gasoline engine, giving it solid power for long trips. Even today, it remains almost completely original, with restored 60s-style fabric, chrome bumpers, and a 2-tone paint job. This truck is so rare that most people have never even heard of it. With only 1 left in the country, it's a reminder of a time when GMC accidentally built a pickup that was decades ahead of its time. Number 8. Dodge Midnight Express Truck, 1978. Most people have never heard of the 1978 Dodge Midnight Express, and that's exactly what makes it so rare. While its twin, the Lil Red Express, had 2,188 units rolling off the production line, the Midnight Express was even scarcer. No one knows the exact number built, but it's believed to be only a handful. It had all the muscle of its red sibling, but ditched the bright paint for sleek black, giving it an outlaw look. Dodge never officially advertised it, leaving this truck lost in the shadows of history. One glance at the Midnight Express, and you'd think it was a custom-built show truck. It came with enormous vertical chrome exhaust stacks that looked like they belonged on a semi-truck, an oak-lined cargo bed, and flashy gold lettering on the doors. The chrome-slotted wheels added even more attitude, with oversized rear tires that made it sit like a drag racer. Inside, Dodge gave it a tough steering wheel and extra chrome trim, making it one of the most stylish pickups ever built. But the Midnight Express wasn't just for looks. It was built for speed. It packed a 360 cubic inch V8 engine, originally made for police cars, pumping out 225 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. With a modified 3-speed automatic transmission and no catalytic converter, it could outrun most sports cars of its time. Because so few were made, and many were used as work trucks, finding one today is nearly impossible. It's a forgotten muscle truck that deserved more fame. Number 7. Ford Skyranger Convertible, 1991. A convertible pickup truck? Sounds like something out of a fever dream, yet the 1991 Ford Skyranger was very real, just nearly impossible to find. Only 17 of these topless trucks were ever built, making them one of the rarest pickups in existence. Unlike other Rangers, this one had no solid roof. Instead, A custom-built folding top let drivers drop the roof and cruise like it was a Mustang. But Ford never officially made it. Instead, a company called Professional Autocrafters handled the conversion, leaving this truck an oddball mystery. Seeing a Sky Ranger in person would make anyone do a double take. The missing roof wasn't the only strange thing. It had a forward-leaning Targa surround instead of a roll bar, giving it a futuristic but questionable design. Some came with ground-hugging aero kits, while others skipped them entirely. It was as if each truck had its own personality. Despite looking more like a beach cruiser than a workhorse, Ford dealerships actually sold some of them, though barely anyone knew they existed. Not only this, beneath the unusual design, the Sky Ranger had a solid performance. A 244 cubic inch V6 engine paired with a 5-speed manual transmission powered all 4 wheels, making it just as capable as a regular Ranger. But with so few made and no official marketing, this truck vanished into obscurity. Some examples barely saw the road. One had just 7,600 miles. A convertible pickup was too strange to survive, and Ford never tried it again, making the Sky Ranger one of the rarest forgotten trucks ever. Number 6. Dodge Rod Hall Signature Edition, 1990. Most people have never seen a 1990 Dodge Rod Hall Signature Edition truck because almost none exist. Dodge only made 33 of them, and even fewer have survived. This was Dodge's second attempt at a Rod Hall truck after their 1987 version was recalled for safety issues. By 1990, they brought it back, this time with help from racing legend Carroll Shelby. But despite its extreme off-road capabilities, the truck faded into obscurity. This thing looked wild. Painted in bright red, orange, and yellow stripes, it screamed Desert Racer. A massive roll bar sat in the truck bed, originally packed with extra fog lights. The front bumper had a brush guard with Rod Hall branded lights, though many disappeared over time. Ultra-branded rims gave it a race-ready stance, making it clear this was no ordinary Dodge Ram. It was built to take on brutal off-road conditions, but that same aggressive setup made it a bit too extreme for everyday use. Under the hood, a 317 cubic inch V8 pumped out 170 horsepower. Unlike most race trucks, it had an automatic transmission, which made it easier to drive, but also less exciting. Dodge gave it stiffer shocks and special suspension upgrades, but these were the same kinds of mods that got the 1987 version recalled. No one knows if all 1990 models kept these parts, but they were designed for serious terrain. So why is it so forgotten? Maybe it's because collectors never embraced it. Some ended up in salvage yards, others simply disappeared. Either way, the Rod Hall Signature Edition is one of the strangest pickups you never knew existed. Number 5. Dodge Dakota Sport Convertible, 1990 to 1991. The 1989 Dodge Dakota Sport Convertible is easily one of the rarest and most bizarre pickups you've never heard of. Dodge only made 2,842 units in 1989, followed by 909 in 1990 and just 8 in 1991. That means there are barely any left today. What makes it so strange? Well, it's a convertible pickup, something no other truck had at the time. The Dakota Sport Convertible was more of a summer cruiser than a workhorse, sporting a soft vinyl roof and a padded roll bar for safety. It was a truck that had the style of a convertible car, complete with European-inspired blackout graphics and chrome-trimmed wheels. Despite offering 2 engine options, both 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive, its high price tag made it a tough sell. Dodge stopped production after just 3 years, leaving the Dakota Sport Convertible as one of the most unique and forgotten pickups in history. Number 4. 1991. GMC Syclone. The 1991 GMC Syclone is a pickup truck unlike any other. With only 2,998 units produced, It's one of the rarest and strangest trucks ever made, and it's often overlooked by many. Why? Well, this wasn't your typical truck. It wasn't made for hauling or off-roading. Instead, GMC created the Syclone to race against sports cars. Yes, a pickup truck built for speed. This truck didn't look like anything you'd expect. With a lower stance than most pickups, black paint, and sleek gray body cladding, it had a street racer vibe, not a workhorse one. Even more bizarre, the sun visor had a warning telling owners not to take it off-road. What truly set it apart was the engine. A 262 cubic inch turbocharged V6 produced 280 horsepower, sending it to 60 miles per hour in under 5 seconds. It was faster than a Corvette, but despite all that power, it wasn't built for hauling, making it a one-of-a-kind, weirdly fast pickup that's still hard to find today. Number 3. GMC Sierra Grande Olympic Edition, 1976. The 1976 GMC Sierra Grande Olympic Edition is one of the rarest and most bizarre pickups you've probably never heard of. With only 630 units made, this special edition truck was created to mark the Summer Olympics in Montreal, Canada. What makes it even stranger? It was never sold in the United States, so its rarity is amplified by the fact that it's practically unknown in the American market. This wasn't your typical Sierra Grande. It sported a bold white body with a striking red stripe across the hood and sides, topped with an Olympic logo decal. The truck also featured a custom Olympic hood ornament, giving it an odd ceremonial vibe. Chrome was everywhere, on the grille, mirrors, and bumpers, making it stand out in a way no other pickup of the time did. Beyond this, the powerhouse was equipped with a 350 cubic inch V8 engine that produced 165 horsepower. While it wasn't the fastest truck around, its unique purpose and limited production make it one of the rarest and strangest pickups you'll ever find on the road. Number 2. Chevrolet S10 EV, 1997 to 1998. The Chevrolet S10 EV is undoubtedly one of the rarest and quirkiest pickups you've probably never heard of. Built between 1997 and 1998, only 492 units were made, and most were leased to fleet customers. To make matters even stranger, General Motors recalled and destroyed many of them, much like the infamous EV1 electric coupe. Today, only a handful of these electric trucks still exist, making them a true automotive rarity. At first glance, the S10 EV looks like a regular S10, but it's packed with odd features. It had no exhaust pipe, no fuel tank, and eerily silent operation, traits you wouldn't expect from a pickup. The truck was front-wheel drive, which was unusual compared to its rear-wheel drive counterparts. Plus, it used a charging paddle system instead of modern charging ports, and it even had a diesel-powered heater, which is bizarre for an electric vehicle. With only a small number of these trucks still around, the S10 EV remains one of the strangest and most elusive pickups in history. Number 1. Jeep J10 Honcho, 1983. The 1983 Jeep J10 Honcho is one of those pickup trucks that most people have never heard of, but it's one of the rarest gems in automotive history. Only 1,264 units were built between 1980 and 1983, and they were all part of a special trim package for the Jeep J10. While Jeep made plenty of J10s, the Honcho Sportside version is like a forgotten treasure waiting to be discovered. What makes the Honcho so strange? For starters, it was covered in bold stripes and oversized decals designed to grab attention. You could also get a denim interior, which was like driving a truck wrapped in a pair of jeans. Plus, it had a factory roll bar and a unique step-side bed, setting it apart from typical pickups. Powered by either a 6-cylinder or V8 engine, this truck was built for adventure. But despite its quirky appeal, the Honcho never hit mainstream success, leaving it mostly forgotten today. These pickups are truly one of a kind. So, which one caught your eye? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more.